Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Punit Makharia, promoter and managing director at Shree Pushkar Chemicals and Fertilizers, joining in. Welcome to the show, Punit, and always a pleasure to speak to you. Uh, Punit, my first question coming to you is let's talk about the current environment right now that we are sitting in. And clearly, if you go to see, zero waste model is what a lot of companies are adopting right now. I think your business model is also one which has started to adopt this model. If you could just help us understand the uniqueness of your business model with managing zero waste.
Thank you, Hiral, for giving us this opportunity with Nirmal Bang. And first of all, I would like to tell you, the thought process. What we have is that in any business model, stability, sustainability is the most important concept. And the kind of business we are into it, where it is, completely, this environment-based business, we have to be extremely compliant as far as the environment is concerned. We have given a very big focus on this environment, this compliances, and the kind of model we have developed is on a completely zero waste business model. When I say it's a zero waste business model, it means that we don't generate any waste. We generate waste, but we don't discharge it or we don't treat it. We use that waste as a byproduct for manufacturing of another product. If you will see that our company is completely integrated into six different verticals and completely diversified also. When I say it is completely six, integrated verticals, like we produce dyestuffs, we produce its raw material, that is dyes intermediates. Then we have our acid complex. Then we have our captive power plant, which is based on a zero cost power plant. It is based on waste heat recovery system. Then we have a cattle feed business, and thereafter we have a fertilizer business. If you will see here that all these six verticals has got no similarity. Customer base is entirely different for the textile, for the cattle feed. When we say cattle feed, it's basically animals and health nutrition business, as well as the fertilizers business. If you will see all our customer base from the fertilizer to a farmer to a multinational company, from the dyes, is a whole range of customers we have. And what we do basically into this integrated business model is that we use the waste what we generate from another vertical to produce a value added product for another
Hmm.
vertical. Like, for example, just for an example, I will give you. Like we generate, spent acid, which is a dilute sulfuric acid, which is a waste basically. For that, on ethical grounds, we have to treat it in a primary, secondary, and tertiary manner, then further discharge into the CETP. Instead of doing so, which is a cost to the company, we don't do so. We rather use that waste as a byproduct for producing another vertical, like animal and health nutrition product, like fertilizer. We use these waste into producing the further products of animal and health nutrition feed, as well as into the fertilizers. Like like for an example, I give you the kind of power plant we have. It's a this is completely zero cost power plant. It is a waste recovery power plant. Means the waste heat what we recover from our acid plant, we use for producing the power. The waste we reduce, the waste we got from our dye intermediate business as a gypsum, or as a animal and health nutrition business, that we use as a fertilizers. So in totality, if you'll see that all the business verticals are deeply integrated with each other. As a aerial view, you will see that all the businesses are different, but in a deeper sense, if you go and see, you will see that all the businesses are interconnected with each other. This kind of model completely gives proper stability and sustainability to the whole business model. And this kind of zero waste, this model is a unique business model. What our peers and what our other industries do not have on the globe. This is how it is.
Hmm. Hmm. Right.
So, yeah, please.
Right. So, with all of this now, another important aspect that comes in terms of business is the kind of subsidies that the government has been giving on the fertilizer business. How does the scenario look like right now? And do you think there is a need of additional subsidies going forward to benefit the business?
See, as far as the fertilizer business is concerned, Hiral, This is a completely regulated business, and thanks to the Modi government that they have, that they are giving utmost focus on the fertilizer and this domestic productivity of the fertilizer in India.
Hmm.
Like we are into the business of producing potash, means phosphatic fertilizers. That is single super phosphate we produce. Then we produce the water soluble fertilizers. We produce mixture fertilizers in which phosphatic is a very important ingredient. Now, recently, on 20th May 2021, Government of India has come out with a notification whereas they have increased the subsidy on the P, that is
Hmm.
only on the phosphate they have increased the subsidy. They have increased the subsidy from 2,563 rupees to 7,513 rupees a ton. The whole idea behind increasing this subsidy on a fertilizer is that overall worldwide phosphatic fertilizers have gone extremely expensive, plus the global freight has also gone high. Due to the increase into the cost, the government has increased the fertilizer subsidy also. Whereas we have maintained the quality of the
Hmm.
fertilizers, supply of the fertilizers, we need to see that at each and every area, the fertilizer is distributed and delivered accordingly on time, at the time of the monsoon. We are able to pass on the cost to our dealers as far as the increase of the cost is concerned. There is a definitely incremental cost into the raw materials of this SSP, like rock phosphate has gone high, like sulfur has gone high, sulfuric acid has gone high. Because of that, the costing of the product has also gone high. Because of that, government has provided entire support. Plus, after introduction of DBT, that is direct beneficial this transfer, as well as on post subsidy basis, there is a completely seamless system what government has provided. It's a completely ethical system what government has
Hmm.
provided.
Hmm.
Because of that, fertilizer is doing extremely well here. We don't see that any kind of hiccups into that.
Hmm.
And as far as the cost parameter is concerned, we are easily able to transfer this increased cost on the dealers.
Right. So, with all of this, if you have to take all the businesses into consideration, Puneet, say dye intermediates, dye stuffs, fertilizers, asset complex, as well as animal health and nutrition, what is the current revenue mix looking like? Where are you seeing traction, and how do you see the revenue mix changing over the next 2 to 3 years?
Hiral, if I say for a company like us, whereas it is a completely integrated model, all
Mhm.
the verticals are extremely important for the company,
Correct.
each and every vertical is deeply integrated amongst each other, and every vertical is dependent on another business vertical, because as I said earlier, that we use a waste of a one vertical to another vertical.
Mhm.
And as far as the traction you say is that if you take up an example of financial year 2021, wherein the COVID was a very important role into the our lives, and fertilizer business, because of a good monsoon, because of a good demand, definitely we did pretty well compared to 1920 2021. We did the same kind of a sales revenue. That is mainly because of fertilizers. So fertilizers is also a very important vertical for a company, and each and every vertical has got equal this amount of traction in our company. That may depend for a time being, for a very short time being, maybe because of the COVID issues. Like in COVID issues, the textile industry in India was bit slow, bit under lockdown.
Mhm.
Definitely, the fertilizer business, which was classified into the essential services, we carried on our activities as far as the fertilizer business was concerned.
Mhm.
So, we can't say that which vertical has got a better traction. Definitely, for me, each and every vertical is a good traction. And if you talk about the sales percentage,
Mhm.
yes, chemical this contributes around 70% of our total revenue. But in this year, it would be around 65%. The reason being is that our Unit 5, which is under implementation, which we are
Mhm.
planning to start by the end of Q2 this financial year, because of that, we may have around 65% of the chemical revenue and around 35% of the other fertilizer revenue. But again, if you go in 22, 23, then again this would be around 70-75% of the chemicals and 20-25% of the fertilizers, because our Unit 5 would be started. And
Mhm.
in this financial year, since we have taken over one another company through NCLT code IBC 2016, we will be getting full year of production. So because of that production and because of the late implementation of Unit 5, we would have around 65% revenue of our chemicals, and balance it would be contributed through fertilizer business.
Okay. So with all of this, currently taking all the plants into consideration, what is our blended capacity utilization?
Blended capacity utilization, if you'll say in fertilizers segment, this would be around 60, around 70% or so, Hiral.
Mhm.
And in chemical business, it should be around 75% or so. If you take a blended capacity, it would be around 72 to 75%
Hmm.
in all put together. But again, next financial year, this would ramp up around another addition by 5 to 7% or so. The reason being is that this year would be slow mainly because of the COVID, because we
Hmm.
got to face second wave also, and people are expecting third wave
Got
also.
correct.
Yeah, let's see how it happens. But then too also we are fully prepared for our for any kind of a next hiccups also, like COVID or something like that. And existingly also we are facing some kind of issues, like getting the oxygens for the plant regular maintenance and operations, because we need oxygen. That's a very important vital part for our this plant operation smoothly. Plus labors are also a big issue as of now. We are not able to come out with the entire problem resolved, but yes, slowly and gradually we are overcoming these problems also.
Right. So, as we mentioned about the current capacity utilization plus the added capacity that we are looking at in the future, chemicals, fertilizers, you're planning, I mean, capacities, you're looking to double it in chemicals and triple it in fertilizers in the next 1 to 2 years. So, what is the kind of revenue generation that you're targeting for business as a whole with this kind of a capacity addition?
Very good question, Hiral. As a whole, if you will see that in 2017, we took over a company called Kisan Phosphates Private Limited that is based in Haryana. That's in northern India. There we, there we cater fertilizer market from Himachal Pradesh to Haryana, Punjab, UP, and northern Rajasthan. Recently, last year, we have taken over one company called Madhya Bharat Phosphates Limited that has got two plants. Both the plants are situated in Madhya Pradesh. One is near Bhopal, another is near the Gujarat border. So there we cater from Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. And third facility, fourth rather facility, we have got in in Maharashtra. So fertilizer is definitely very important role. And as far as the doubling of the capacity in the chemical, which we believe would be operational by Q2 end or so. And fertilizer, we have already come up to the, I think in this year we'll be getting a full year operation of this thing. I believe that this financial year we would be, reaching at a revenue of around 550 crore rupees, which last year was around 350 crore rupees on a consolidated basis.
Hmm.
And this will be only, 5 months operation of our Unit 5. I believe that 22, 23 would, would be the year for the company wherein they will be, wherein the company would be getting entire 12 months operation for even Unit 5 also. We should be hitting somewhere close to 700 crore rupees of a total top line for the 22-23.
Okay. And with all of this, we've seen that the company is debt free. Your operating cash flow is really strong. However, in FY20, we had seen a operating cash flow to EBITDA percentage of 150%. It dipped to 95% in the last year. And I understand it was on the back of the acquisition that we made with regards to MBPL. However, do you think we could go back to those 150 percentage levels, or do you think this will be the new range?
I think 150%. Let me tell you this, reply in this fashion, Hiral, that it's a completely, cash-rich company, and it's a zero-debt company. And company has done capex of around 130 crore rupees, or is in the process of doing capex of 130 crore rupees out of its internal accruals. So first of all, Hiral, the company has got capacity and capability of converting its EBITDA margins into the cash levels. If you will see that right now, we believe, I think that we have a, this OCF to EBITDA percentage is around 95%. This is, I think so. And I believe, Hiral, this is also extremely good level for a company size of Shree Pushkar Chemicals. And doing a capex of 130 crore rupees from internal accruals without raising any debt means that company has converted its EBITDA into the cash. After spending the money, still company has got no lien deposits of a handsome amount, which we have kept for our future inorganic growth. And let me tell you the kind of this capexes we have done, like acquisition of Madhya Bharat, and doing a capex of Unit 5, and doing a further capex of solar energy under open access scheme. And because of some working capital constraints, because of the COVID levels last year as well as this year, there could be bit dent on OCF to EBITDA percentage. But I believe that we are almost back to the pre-COVID levels. Expansions done by us or on the verge of starting a commercial production, we believe that we'll be able to manage these kind of these revenues easily and come up on earlier levels of 150%.
Hmm.
Otherwise, if you see, it's a plus rated account and zero debt account, and it's got good amount of cash, so we have that much of capacity. Once we are back with our operation of our capex, we believe that we'll be able to maintain that much of cash.
Hmm.
It has no interest cost in the company as well.
Right. And overall, with regards to where MBPL is concerned, I think 31 crores is the kind of revenues that we saw MBPL contribute in FY21.
Yeah, yeah.
At full working capacity, firstly, will we see it working at full capacity in FY22? And if yes, what's the kind of contribution that we're looking at from this acquisition?
For MBPL, 2021 was the first year of operation. We got the judgment from Honorable NCLT Ahmedabad on the 5th March 2020 for acquisition of this. And after taking over this order and taking over the possession of the company somewhere in April 2020, and I just inform you that that was a complete lockdown COVID period. That was the first lockdown declared by Honorable Prime Minister. Then we took over this asset from NCLT. We did the entire revamp and got all the necessary, government approvals for starting the plant. We could hardly get one season of fertilizer, and that was a new market for us. But I would congratulate my team for even achieving 31 crores of the top line. And in this, and let me tell you one more thing, Hiral, that in the first year of the operation, Madhya Bharat did a profit of hardly 2.5 crore rupees. Amount may not, this concern here, but the major concern is that in a short time we could, convert this unit into a profitable unit from the first year onwards. Now, if we talk about 21, 22, in this particular year, we are planning to, full utilize our Jhabua plant. That is one plant, wherein we propose to cross a sales revenue of 100 crore rupees from 31 crore rupees in comparison with the last year. We are also in a process of starting our second unit also, that is at Diwanganj. That is a place called Diwanganj near Bhopal. And plus, we have also started one capex into this Madhya Bharat for the animal and health nutrition feed. Together, I believe that we'll be easily able to cross total revenue of 100 crores in Madhya Bharat in this financial year.
Okay. And with all of this, in FY21, due to COVID, did we take any cost-cutting initiatives which could be permanent from here on and help aid our margins?
Hiral, this COVID was an unexpected, pandemic which the whole globe faced, and we have not done as such called a major cost cutting, very honestly speaking, right? And rather we have, put a lot of money on the CSR, giving medical facility to our, to my colleagues and our team members, like, vaccine and all these things. Not really we have done any kind of a cost cutting in this financial year. We believe our team is an asset to the company, and doing some kind of a cost cutting on them doesn't, saves you on any kind of financial implications. And but we have not done any kind of a major cost cutting because of COVID.
Okay.
Rather, the promoters and directors have taken a hit on their salary for the year 2021 because of the COVID. But as far as the team is concerned, our colleagues are concerned, we have not done any kind of a major cost.
Okay. And with this, the margins did dip in FY21. So what was the reason for the same? And when do we get plan? How long will it take for us to get back to pre-COVID levels?
If you compare with 1920 and 2021, the company is able to maintain its top line on a consolidated basis. But yes, there was a bit dip into the margins. The major reason for the margin, if you'll see that quarter one and quarter two was completely silent. And that was a such kind of a horrified period that, nobody was able to understand and know that what will happen and where to go. Our chemical business was completely on a silent mode. And since I said just now that we have not done any kind of a major cost cutting in the company, we have not fired anybody, we have not, taken any kind of head cuts in our company. So definitely the cost was high because of the, half year results of 2021. Business was almost to the standstill. So that is the main reason why why you can see a dip into the profit margins of 2021. But now if you talk about 21, 22, wherein we all have become habitual of these issues like COVID and, taking all due precautions, and we are almost back on a pre-COVID levels here. I think this year is going to be a better period in comparison with 2021 and 1920 also. We'll be doing a total revenue of around 550 crore rupees approximately or so. And I think we'll be able to cross PAT levels of around 50 crores. So that thing we'll be able to cover, this come back and recover our earlier results of.
And this we're talking about FY 22.
Yeah, 21, 22. This current financial year I'm talking about.
Right. And very lastly, any new product launches, innovations that we're looking at?
See, we are continuously on that mode, Hiral. And since I said you that the kind of business integrated and vertical business and diversified business we have, and the kind of integration we have done is only because of our R&D. I would like to thanks our R&D team that the kind of waste business model we have developed, if I give you an example, we produce animal health nutrition feed from the waste effluent for our one vertical. And that is only because of our R&D team is pretty strong, and it's this 24/7 process which goes on in doing so. Like we have improved on the the productivity levels and the quality levels and the yield levels also in terms of our our existing product. The new plant of Unit 5, which we are coming out, would be some kind of a sulfur trichemistry is also there. Some new innovative products are also there. So that's a continuous job here. We always keep on our toes for these things.
Correct. And very lastly, Punit, overall with regards to where growth goes, we have seen a lot of growth that has come for our business on the back of acquisitions, right? So from here on, will that continue to remain our strategy, or will we start focusing on organic growth from here on?
Hiral, basically, we believe that after a certain level, we have come to a stage whereas organic and inorganic growth both are important for the company.
Correct.
Now, the kind of a cash levels which company has, the kind of a leverage we company has, we have got a potential for doing a organic also as well as inorganic also. As of now, if you will see that we have taken over some businesses in the last 3 years or so. We have done a grassroots projects also, which we are still doing at Unit 5. So this whole process will continue, Hiral. We are still in a lookout for some new opportunities. Now we have a completely our hands are filled till 21, 22. Post 21, 22, we need another growth plans. So we are already in lookout for those plans also. So that's a continuous process.
Right. All right, Punit. Thank you so much for speaking to Nirmal Bang. Pleasure getting insights from you. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as well. Thank you. Stay safe and speak to you soon again.
Thank you, Hiral. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.